Lie now. While you read this sentence, light from a star you can see with your naked eye is just arriving after traveling for 4,000 years. The person who first reflected that light is dead. Their civilization is dust. Their language is forgotten. And the photon only just got here. So what else is the universe hiding inside its distances? The numbers ahead are not metaphors. They are measured, peer-reviewed, and confirmed. Each one breaks something inside the human mind that evolved to judge the distance to a saber-tooth, not a quasar. Number 10. The lie of the night sky. At every star you have ever wished on is a time machine you cannot turn off. The light hitting your retina tonight left its source years, centuries, or millennia ago. Betelgeuse, the red shoulder of Orion, sits roughly 548 light-years away according to measurements refined by the Hipparcos and Gaia missions from the European Space Agency. That means the Betelgeuse you see right now is the Betelgeuse of the early 1400s. The 100 Years' War was still being fought when that photon began its journey. Astronomers have confirmed Betelgeuse is a red supergiant in the late stages of its life. It could already be gone. It could have exploded into a supernova brighter than the full moon, and we would have no way of knowing for another 500 years. Look up tonight. You are not seeing the sky. You are seeing a postcard from the past, delivered late, signed by stars that may no longer exist. And this is only the closest layer of the deception. Number 9. The distance the fastest human object can never cross. Voyager 1 was launched on September 5, 1977. It is the fastest, farthest human-made object in existence. As of its latest tracking by NASA Jet Propulsion Laboratory, Voyager 1 is moving at roughly 17 kilometers per second relative to the Sun. It has been flying for almost 50 years without stopping. It has crossed the heliopause. It is in interstellar space. And it has covered approximately 0.0025 of a single light-year. The nearest star to our Sun, Proxima Centauri, sits 4.2465 light-years away. At Voyager's current speed, it would need approximately 73,000 years to get there. Except Voyager is not even aimed at Proxima. It will never reach any star. It is simply drifting through the dark forever. Don't think about that. The pinnacle of human engineering. 50 years of flight, plutonium-powered, tracked by the Deep Space Network. And it has not even scratched the surface of our own cosmic neighborhood. We are not spacefaring. We are a species that has barely opened the front door. And the porch alone is unfathomable. So what happens when we try to leave the neighborhood entirely? Number 8. The silence between the stars. The space between stars is not mostly empty. It is almost entirely empty in a way that breaks intuition. Inside our Milky Way, the average distance between stars is roughly 5 light-years. Convert that to a scale your brain can hold. If the sun were the size of a grain of sand in New York City, the next grain of sand would be in Atlanta. Just 2 grains of sand. Nothing in between. This is confirmed by stellar density measurements from the Gaia spacecraft, which has mapped the positions of over 1.8 billion stars with unprecedented precision. The conclusion is unanimous. Stars are catastrophically far apart. This is why galaxies can pass through each other and almost no stars collide. The Andromeda Galaxy is currently approaching the Milky Way at 110 kilometers per second. In approximately 4.5 billion years, they will merge. Yet astronomers calculate the probability of any individual stellar collision during the merger is effectively 0. Galaxies are not crowds. They are ghosts passing through ghosts. The void inside a galaxy is so vast that 2 entire spiral systems can fall into each other and miss every single time. But the spaces inside galaxies are nothing compared to the spaces between them. Number 7. The gulf between galaxies. Andromeda is our nearest large galactic neighbor. It sits 2.537 million light-years away. A figure established by Edwin Hubble in 1925 and refined by Cepheid variable measurements ever since. That light left Andromeda before Homo sapiens existed as a species. When you see Andromeda in a telescope, you are looking at a galaxy as it appeared before your great-great ancestors learned to control fire. And Andromeda is the close one. The next layer out is the local group, a small collection of about 80 galaxies bound by gravity, spanning roughly 10 million light-years. Beyond that lies the Virgo supercluster. Beyond that, the Laniakea supercluster, identified by R. Brent Tully and colleagues in a 2014 paper in Nature, containing approximately 100,000 galaxies and stretching 520 million light-years across. Try to hold that number, 520 million years of light, just across one local supercluster, and there are millions of superclusters beyond it. Here is what breaks the brain. The cosmic web is mostly emptiness. Galaxies are clustered along thin filaments separated by voids hundreds of millions of light years wide where almost nothing exists. The universe is not full of stuff. It is a near-perfect vacuum with occasional rumors of matter. And one of those voids is so empty it has a name. Number 6. The Boötes Void. In 1981, astronomer Robert Kirshner and his colleagues at Harvard discovered something that should not exist. A region of space approximately 330 million light-years in diameter containing almost nothing. No galaxies, no clusters, no structure. They called it the Boötes Void, sometimes called the Great Nothing. If our Milky Way were located at the center of the Boötes Void, we would not have discovered other galaxies until the 1960s. The sky would appear completely empty in every direction. For most of human history, we would have believed our galaxy was the entire universe, because nothing else would be visible. Subsequent surveys have found about 60 galaxies inside the Boötes Void, but in a sphere that size, statistical models predict there should be roughly 10,000. It is a hole. A real, measurable, three-dimensional hole in the fabric of cosmic structure. Cosmologists still argue about how it formed. Some suggest dark energy. Some suggest primordial inhomogeneities from the Big Bang. Some suggest exotic possibilities involving alternate physics, but no one disputes the void is there. Imagine a continent-sized region of the ocean where the water itself is missing. Now scale that up by 1 trillion. That is the Boötes Void, and it is not the only one. The universe has more nothing than something, and the nothing keeps getting larger. Number 5, the edge we will never reach. The observable universe extends approximately 46.5 billion light-years in every direction from Earth. This figure comes from measurements of the cosmic microwave background by the Planck mission, combined with our best models of cosmic expansion. The total diameter of the observable universe is therefore about 93 billion light-years. Here is the problem. The universe itself is only 13.8 billion years old. How can we see something 46.5 billion light-years away if light has only had 13.8 billion years to travel? Because space itself is expanding. Light that left a distant galaxy 13 billion years ago has been carried even farther away by the expansion of the universe between us and it. It gets worse. The expansion is accelerating, a discovery confirmed by Saul Perlmutter, Brian Schmidt, and Adam Rees that earned the 2011 Nobel Prize in Physics. Distant galaxies are being pulled away from us faster than light can cross the gap between us. This means there is a cosmic event horizon. Beyond a certain distance, light leaving a galaxy today will never reach Earth because the space between is stretching faster than light can travel through it. Entire civilizations could exist out there, sending signals, and we will never see them. Never. Not in a billion years. Not ever. The universe is not just big. It is actively hiding itself from us. Number 4, the parts of the universe that have already vanished. There is a calculation that few people outside of cosmology ever encounter. Because of accelerating expansion, the number of galaxies we can ever, in principle, reach is shrinking every second. A 2007 paper by Lawrence Krauss and Robert Shearer, published in the Journal of General Relativity and Gravitation, calculated that in roughly 100 billion years, all galaxies outside our local group will have receded beyond the cosmic event horizon. They will be permanently invisible, permanently unreachable, permanently gone from any possible observation. Astronomers in that distant future will look up and see only the merged remnant of the Milky Way and Andromeda. The rest of the universe will appear to be empty. They will conclude, using perfectly valid physics, that they live in a small island universe surrounded by nothing. And they will be wrong, catastrophically wrong, but they will have no way to know. We are alive during a privileged window. A moment in cosmic history when the evidence of the Big Bang, the cosmic microwave background, and the larger universe are still observable. Future civilizations will lose access to this evidence forever. They will have no path to the truth. We are watching the lights go out, one galaxy at a time, and no engineering, no technology, no civilization will ever turn them back on. Number 3, the impossible scale of a single supercluster filament. Pull back from individual galaxies. Pull back from groups. Pull back from clusters. Now look at the largest known structure in the universe. In 2013, astronomers led by Roger Claus at the University of Central Lancashire announced the discovery of the Hercules Corona Borealis Great Wall, a filament of galaxies measured to be approximately 10 billion light-years across. Let that number land. 10 billion. The structure spans most of the observable universe. This is a problem. According to the cosmological principle, a foundational assumption of modern cosmology, the universe should be roughly uniform at large scales. Nothing should be bigger than about 1.2 billion light-years. The Hercules Corona Borealis Great Wall is roughly 8 times larger than that limit. It should not exist, and yet, repeated surveys keep finding it. Subsequent observations have found even more candidates for ultra-large structures, including the giant arc reported by Alexia Lopez in 2021, stretching 3.3 billion light-years across. Either our most fundamental assumption about cosmic uniformity is wrong, or there are organizing forces in the universe we have not yet identified. Either answer rewrites physics. Either answer means the universe is stranger than the textbooks say. And the strangeness is not finished. The next number changes what space itself even means. Number 2, the distance light cannot cross because space is faster. Also, there is a misconception that nothing in the universe can travel faster than light. That is half true. Nothing can travel through space faster than light, but space itself can expand at any speed it wants. There is no speed limit on geometry. The Hubble constant, measured most recently at approximately 73 kilometers per second per megaparsec by the SH0ES collaboration led by Adam Rees, tells us how fast space is expanding. At a distance of roughly 14.4 billion light-years from us, called the Hubble radius, space is expanding at the speed of light. Beyond that, it expands faster than light. Galaxies in those regions are not violating physics. They are not moving through space at superluminal speeds. The space between us and them is simply growing faster than light can bridge it. This means there are galaxies whose light is, right now, traveling toward us, but losing ground every second. The photons are moving at 299,792 kilometers per second toward Earth, and they are getting farther from Earth at the same time. They will never arrive. Distance, in this sense, is not a measurement. It is a verdict. A judgment about what is forever beyond reach. The universe has built walls into its own geometry, walls made of expanding nothing. And those walls lead to the most disturbing number of all. Number 1, the distance to yourself. Here is what every other number has been building toward. Cosmologists have a concept called the Hubble volume, the sphere of space we can, in principle, influence or observe. If the universe is infinite or sufficiently large, as inflation theory developed by Alan Guth and refined by Andre Linde suggests, then there are an unimaginable number of other Hubble volumes beyond ours. Each one contains its own arrangement of matter. Physicist Max Tegmark, in a 2003 paper in Scientific American, calculated something that has unsettled cosmologists ever since. In an infinite universe, given a finite number of possible quantum configurations for a region the size of a human body, your exact atomic copy must exist somewhere. Tegmark's estimate placed the nearest identical copy of you at approximately 10 to the power of 10 to the power of 28 meters away. That number is not large. It is incomprehensible. It is a 1 followed by 10 to the power of 28 zeros. Written out, it would not fit inside the observable universe. Somewhere out there, a version of you is reading this exact sentence. Another version put the phone down. Another version was never born. They are all real. They are all you. And the space between you is so vast that the word distance loses meaning. You are not unique. You are not alone. You are repeated, infinitely, across a cosmos so large that infinity itself becomes a measurement. You'll never meet a single one of yourself. The universe is not a place. It is a verdict on the smallness of what we can know. Every distance in this list points to the same uncomfortable truth. The human mind was built to navigate a savanna, not a cosmos. We evolved to track prey across a valley, not to comprehend voids hundreds of millions of light years wide, or copies of ourselves separated by numbers that have no name. And yet, somehow, this fragile 3-pound brain, this damp organ trapped inside a skull on a wet rock orbiting an average star, has measured all of it. That is the real terror, and the real miracle. If you want to see more videos like this, click the video on screen now.